Interchanging line signals. Go through audio, book, graph, line, and line rotation to positional connections. What am I talking about with high line rotation? Well, it understands how space-time is set up to high interference. It's all positional location of data streams, information to its panels. It operates all signal rotation to its calculations. So today in class, we're going to travel a high line center. They're going to set up 4 line centers, location of universe locations, lock division line centers of high levels. Dimensional interference, we're going to go through Fibonacci sequence location. In high calculations, the crew units, squads 1 and 2, is going to go through all the levels of the simulator. The connection line center location, the GFL, the Rebellion, and the Ascended Masters are going to go into the levels of 1912, which is the Titanic. So it's interesting how you change timelines. We're going to factory reset all line centers, bring back all division locations into Bermuda Triangle, set new course line centers, bringing everybody back in communications, all level system to 144 times 144,000 line conditions of channel, position location, geometry set line centers, octahedron, the calculation interference locations to its hemiglobinutherium, highline center interference location line conditions, calculus highline interference calculated to highline rotation interference location line conditions. In position is to understand all levels of space anomaly and how it goes in calculations. 5 to 10 minutes, we'll get started. Welcome all new viewers. All right, squad 1. Michelle, how you doing? Joe, how's it going? JP, how's it going? Amy, how's it going? Shannon, how's it going? Pam, how's it going? It's so exciting to see you guys. All right, Haley, how's it going? Sarah, how's it going? Don, how's it going? Brenda, how's it going? Amber, how's it going? Jill, how's it going? Michael, how's it going? Terry, how's it going? Veronica, how's it going? Sambo, Larry, Nick. It's great to see everybody. Madeline. Just waiting for everybody to come in. Johnny, Chris, Visible, Belinda, Yolanda, Lynn. It's great to see new people. So all the observers is going to go through simulator. You're going to get more understanding what your avatar is. You're going to go through stream centers. Now, stream centers all level position location. So it's kind of like going through a square. Understand what a square is. Going through a triangle, going through a rectangle, going through a highline center, going through a clocking system. We did that through yesterday's system. You have to understand how to travel through the avatar. It's calculating modified line center interference location line conditions. So I'm going to put you guys into the vortex chamber, a 70,000 line position locations, a dimensional line system of planet interference. It opens all channel line interference locations to its avatar of memory. Communication line center interference locations calculations. All right. So Airbender, Ella, Ellen, Michael. All right. Make sure you drink your water. Questions and comments are afterwards. All right. Stay in your position. Just get to know yourself, nobody else. In time, you guys can come into your telepathy waving signals, all level rotation to its connections. All right. All right. So setting up a simulation is trying to understand the practical line centers. That's all calculated all levels, right? Understanding open sequencing, open patterns, interchange position locations, all levels of the clocking system. So in calculations, we're going to set that up today. All right, so I'm going to channel in high center. All right, so get the crews, units, squads 1 and 2 set up first. All right, so we're going to go through charcoal, connection interference. Now, charcoal is all line center coloration. Now, you don't see anything, but everything's set up, which means it's already done. So it's already in position. Now, the main line center is all levels. And the hydraulic location to its channel line system. It's complicated, right? Because you have to understand all levels of its operation is inside. Never anything from outside position. Everything comes from inside you. That's why it's so powerful. So in calculations, I'm going to split the line centers in rotation. Okay, we're going to go through Jupiter connection. 4 strip line centers in position, right? There's 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's all calculated. In highline center, we got the crews. Okay, good. Connection all levels, all right? Slash units. In position locations, we have squads. Okay. 1 and 2. Highline center interference. Okay. You guys are going to be in your simulation core line centers. I'm going to set up position location line conditions. All right, so you guys are in simulation in position, right? S and line center. In calculations. Now, everything through the GFL and the rebellion and all level system of ascended masters, okay, are here. All right. So in calculation line centers, this is how you set up the high line rotation interference. Now, each box center of simulation line interference has a shape code. It sets its core line center. So in crew unit, you come into the triangle, okay, and high line center interference. Okay, squads, they come into the high line center, equal line center, come into all level position location line conditions. All right. In position locations, 2 line center comes into a V line center of an error line interference. And everything the GFL and the rebellion communication of ascended masters come into all calculations to a diamond core line center, into a flux capacitor in position locations, right? To a high line center, to a lower division line position, offline circle, to a rotation line conditions of position, right? All different line center locations of the crew, squads, units 1 and 2, and everything position locations, right? So we're going to start off with all levels of the crew. Setting course line centers, get them in simulation locations, more communications to Orion's belt, get them more line center in position locations. So that's set in signal. Code's already set up position locations, all right? High spin line system, in high center, all right, high single line interference, okay, so high position line interference. So we're going to set up the alpha wave line center interference, okay, in position locations. High level channels, signals are set out, high line system, all right? There you go. Now you're traveling. All right, squad line center interference locations, hieroglyphic channel line conditions, equal line center interference location, XD1000. XD1000 comes in, same coloration line center, scans position locations. There it is through channel line center. All right, outline center interference, travel through line conditions, all right? Squad line center interference, we got airline in direction. Okay, calculate line line and rotation line position. Open up the canal's communication of tunnel interference. High line interference location to box surface line centers. Vortex communication of a chamber. High center line in position locations, right? Sonar and position locations coming into northwest, south, and east. High system location line conditions, right? That's set in signal. The GFL, the rebellion, and everything is sent in masters. Set them position locations in 1912. All right, Titanic, high end and line condition rotations. Put them in plasma lights communication offline system. Glaciers, line center, interference location, information panels. Truth line center and position location, all levels. Code signals are set up in high line center, blocking connection line interference location, clock line center interference locations. Code signals, inner water line, inner rotations, calculations, position line center. Dimensional interference, open out line center, lighting line connection rotations, position line system. There you go with the calculations, right? Half an hour, have fun. It's all set up through code signal. Gonna get some water. Isn't traveling so much fun? It's amazing when you know what you're doing. All right. So as we calculate, we understand communication on all levels of timelines. Setting course line centers. It's all about traveling position locations. So I'm going to set up the high line rotation interference, location of the Bermuda Triangle. This is coming into the course line center, but it's amazing how you set up a graph interference of travel locations. All levels of the crew units, squads 1 and 2, and everything through the connections of the JFL, the Rebellion, and the Ascended Master locations. All right, in calculations. Coming into water interference, time codes. It's all about understanding communication of a computer has a factor reset, and it's during understanding that's calculation of its line conditions. All right, so we open up signals. We'll set the course line center interference. Okay, we're going to modify the channel line centers. Coloration change in interference line conditions. All right, so we come in calculation, come into calculation, come into calculation, come in calculations, come in calculations. Circle realms and interference. Calculation line sense. Understand communication is understanding the base channel of the Bermuda Triangle that sets up anything through interline conditions, and understanding the tip point. Okay, mother is the base and father is the tip point. Okay, so mother is the connections all levels of the earth, and highlight center of father is the connections all levels of space, time, position, time sequence, time code. It high channels its interference location of its position. So truly stand all levels of the Bermuda Triangle is setting up a new course line center and releasing all timelines back to where it's supposed to be from the very, very beginning. All right. Now, this is all done through highline center interference. Okay, so as we calculate and modify highline system, this is the first day track. We got 4 line centers and position location of days to go through track system. So we connect a highline center interference. It comes in position location line conditions. Setting up a crystal is very, very powerful how it comes in position locations. All right, see how it sets up? So that comes into times pi, okay, equals times pi, okay, but it also equals times space. Now, this puts position locations of father space in divisionalized center to new Bermuda Triangle line interference. We set the course line center, integrate locations, interwater city line centers across circles. It's set in signals in rotation interference. Plasma line center and position locations. Now we come into the earth line center, mother communication. Okay, mother equals communication, right? So it's amazing how this is the base of mother and the tip of father. Now, as we set the highline center, we set a new clocking interference. Now this comes in position location when it's all set up to the sun line system. Sun comes in position location, right? Fibonacci sequence. Now Fibonacci sequence change line center. We go in the opposite direction line in rotation to connections, all levels to the moon. Now the moon line center comes in position location of telepathy wave line system. It comes in opposite direction. So we go in this way through track line conditions in position, right? One way, then the other way. So it's an atom rotation going one way and another atom rotation going the other way, okay? It sets the course to its division line system, all right? Space anomaly comes into track center, all right? This is where it comes into its hour point, to its location, right? It high channels its line center in 3 line positions, all right? Here we go. 3 line positions are set in signal, all right? In rotation. So we off the line center going reverse line position location of triangle, in position location. This is how we change all levels of timelines back to where it's supposed to be in communication cycle to its highline center. See how it goes one way and one goes the other way? Now, spinning on cycles line center, setting up all levels of factor reset to timelines. This takes everybody out of position location in soul direction. Soul direction to time frequency, time codes, time clocking, line center locations. We're changing the Fibonacci sequence locations to a new Bermuda Triangle line center, the interference location of water line centers, oceans, rivers, time streams, highlining line rotations calculation. It's all changing high system locations back into all levels. Teleportations equals line center to line center interference locations. Telewaving line center perception line interference equals line condition of time space, communication offline center position locations. Base communication of mother, communication all levels, energy grids, center grid line centers, center line interference locations, size graph, interline conditions, all of position locations into nature, resources. High division line interference location of code frequency, high position location line conditions. Yes, exactly. Solar blast. Condition line centers, we come into ground line interference locations. All right. So the baseline center is going to change position. It's going to go in back to where it's supposed to be. All right. So it's like resetting a dial. Okay. So it's amazing how you come into new coloration line change it. So we come in position location of Jupiter. Jupiter set up a high system. Information panel is given to calculations. So we're going to reset the high line center. All right. So we're going to change high line rotation in calculations to a new triangle interference. See the triangle? Comes in modifications. Now we get Pluto line center, secure line defense, baseline communication, red cycle line interference, put position in program setting, resetting line connections to its interference channel, line connections to its position. All right. Now we set up a high line rotation interference. All right. Pluto comes into high rotation to a new secure line defense position. All right. Pluto set in signals. Planetary system location of solar systems is all about energetic line centers. It's all position location to calculations, right? So as it's set up in position, Pluto is going to set up secure line defense. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's all set up, right? Secure line defense is set up position location, set up a new plasma line wall. All right, the plasma line wall is coming into green circle. Now, green circle sets the high line center electrical line interference location to solar blast. Comes in dimensional line center interference location line conditions, all right? Opens up in sequence. Now we set the course line center in position locations, plasma line center interference. So we come into the new plasma web. Plasma web comes in position location line conditions, all right? That's channel knot system, modification centers, calculation high stream. All right, so here we go through calculation line interference. In position locations, right? Plasma wall set up through position locations, right? So as it's set in a high line center, we go times pi in calculation of sonar. Sonar's coming in position locations. Set up with the alpha wave channel. Coming out of the position locations of its butterfly effect. See that? High channels to a new clocking line center. Now we go through black channel to a black hole. Black hole goes in the opposite direction line interference, changing timeline positions, factor reset. Set and signal interference, factor reset line conditions. Factory reset. Done through equation. All set up through high line center to new binary line center interference locations of a whole level system line conditions. A Bermuda triangle. Set in all line centers. All time lines are back where they are supposed to be in position line interference locations. So base communications of mother, see? And everything through the tipping point line center of father communication of space times pi. Ooh-ah. All right, so it's set in signals and position locations. This is fantastic stuff what we're doing. All right, so as that's set in high system, the graph line center, let's set up all level system work above. I want to get back into triangulation and inference. As we're coming to calculations, we're going to go through the white grass screen. Now, the white grass screen is set up position locations, line conditions. All right, so let's go through the purple channels. All right, purple channel, ground line center, and rotation, all right, in calculations. All right, so let's go into high line center of atom line center. Okay, in position locations, the magnetic highway information system location to its calculation. All right, so we're going to come in position location in this high line center. You have to understand how it works with the grounds and powers and the atmospheres every single day. You are in the center operation. So it's all about understanding how to change it from this position to change it this position to change it this position to change it this position in calculations, right? It's amazing how you travel through different line centers. So as we go through calculation line center, factory reset has already set up position of plasma lights, plasma force line centers in calculations. Coming into Saturn, setting up a new flash drive. Flash drive is coming in high line rotation interference like line conditions. All right, so we activate the 4 line centers. Box line interference back in calculation line system. Stream interference, travel position line conditions, right? Going into a diamond core line center, interference location of channel. Opens all position locations of dimension line centers, okay, in communication system. Travels position, see? In calculations, one high lines its system locations, comes back in channel line center to a new coloration path. Purple interference line back in the sun, back in the center, right? Communicates that system. Opens up a whole new level of a plasma channel. That plasma channel opens up its Fibonacci sequence, goes in this way, in position locations, goes in the opposite direction, in this position location, goes in this direction line center, in position location, and in position locations coming in the high line center interference of 4-line interference. 4 weather pattern line interference locations of all frequency line conditions at all levels, right? So this tapestries the high line center as a mirror resolution pattern location to its coloration position. Opens up dimensional line centers, transition line connections, secure line defense, and 12 line positions. Open all track line interference location line conditions in position location, right? Now that's set up in high centers, okay? As we communicate to high interference, we'll go back in communication line centers, white graph interference location. Let's go into blue interference location, a triangle. Now that triangle is set up to high position locations to all levels. This is where we come into the octahedron. Octahedron location of its blue diamond comes into its high center line condition of all level dimension line interference to a 24 signal, to 48 window, to a 72 track system, to all level systems of a 144 line center locations times 1 equals 100 position line centers of 101 communication line systems of 144,000 line centers. Wow. All set up. It's all set up. So that calculates and modify all levels of the avatar interference position location and high connections. All right, so that's done by equation. Okay, so interchange position locations. Now go through triangle line centers. Let's go to downforce line center. Calculation all levels. Let's go through rainbow activation line stream. Calculation all system. All right, so we upswing the high line center to the triangle interference in position locations. All right, it's all about understanding how to go into a tetrahedron. Line channel to rainbow activation line conditions. All right, as it comes dimensional line center, we open up another dimensional line stream. Okay, this opens up position location of channels. All right, this is how you set up all levels of high level season locations of 0, 1s. Because the nature line center location has to release all lines of timeline interference. Coloration patterns of nature has to be in position location of 0, 1s. Everything through channel line center and position locations. When Mother Earth comes out of the sun line center, digital frame is set up position locations, but you have to get into the rainbow activation line condition. In position location line conditions, opens all channel line interference, done through equation. All right, it's all set up. Satellite position locations coming in track system. There it is. Ooh-ah, it's all set up. Calculation line interference. It's all set up position location line conditions. All right, so let's go back in track center. White graph interference position and program setting. Reset line conditions of levels. Now we're going to go through the sunrise position locations. It's interesting how you come into calculation modification high system. Let's set up those course line centers. Calculations, X8000 coming in. 3 million line center rotation interference of plasma line walls communication off system. Triangulation and interline rotation. Calculation modification high system. Calculation of all levels. Rotation hits position line center. Open all line condition position. All right. Coming to high line center. Coming into high line center. Coming into high line center. All right. One more position locations, all levels. Coming into high position location. All right. Zip zap zoom connection. Outline center interference. All right, so the X2000 comes back in track center, scans position locations to a new high line interference location, new calculations to a Bermuda triangle. Sets the core line centers, so it's kind of like a skid row. So it's got like skipping rocks, right? So it's pretty amazing how it does this, right? It sets the signal locations, brings up Hall channels back in division, in calculations, goes back to the sun in rotation center, right? See how it paused there for a sec? Information panel given in position line center interference locations. So all levels system, the X2000 goes back into the sun line center, graph interference location. This is where we set up a new honeycomb line interference location of channel. Now calculation modification automatically changed the high line interference. Okay, so the sun's coming in hot, communication line center interference. Yellow graph line centers in position locations, honeycomb line center interference, program location line conditions. This is the honeycomb. Set up position locations coming out, track center line conditions, right? 27,000 year line position hibernation interference. There's a honeycomb, right? There's an X2000 coming in. Set information panel to rotation line positions. Scans the high line center location interference. Open all channel line interference locations. Coming to high track system. Scan line centers interference. Come into blue triangle interference. Scan lines position location line conditions. Open all channel position, location, line conditions, right? Setting course, down position location, set up a new line center, water interference. New calculation modifications, all levels, stream interference line conditions. Open all channel line in rotation, back up through equation line conditions, into the center core of the sun position. All right. So as it comes out of the highline center of sun communications, we come into the moon trap. And then the moon trap sets a new divisionalized centers. We come into black circle location to its connections. Moon set up highline interference. Very powerfully come into that calculations, guys. It's all about moon line center, moon beam interference, location line conditions, right? So the same XT1000 comes in position line center. Change the coloration line center, comes out of portal line center, scans position location line conditions. There's the XT1000 line system. Scans position locations, center opposite center line interference. Okay, come into calculations, scan line center position, set out sonar line interference location at Jupiter. Jupiter comes in position location line conditions, sets up signals in position, right? So here's Jupiter. Jupiter's center information line conditions, highline center interference location line conditions. Opens all line interference locations in position locations to the moon. Sets a core line center interference. Okay, stream interference locations. Now I set up the highline center. Now get the rebellion line center, everybody in the GFL position locations, all level conditions, and highline center to all connections of the ascendant masters. Okay, travel position line center, open all line condition interference. Travel to position locations. High level system line centers, tube interference locations. Set the course line centers, laser direction line interference. Bermuda triangle is coming into a factory reset button. Now it's calculating modified. So setting course line centers, weaving interference location to calculation to the moon. Okay, calculate all line centers, come back and track system locations, back in division line centers, back in positional connections, all levels of Jupiter. Set the core line centers, interference location line conditions. Open all channel line interference to light track system. Okay, go in the XY line channel, communication and interference. Okay, so XY line interference in position locations. Highline centers, Y equals vector communication. Okay, equals box. Telepathy waveline center, connection all levels. Goes into channel line interference location to calculations. Okay, slash line conditions of top projection units equals all level system equal line condition. In position locations, all set up the graph line center, high rotation line position locations, changing all binary reset line center, binary reset. Okay, to all line center interference locations, into all position locations. All timelines are set back in position. All right. Timelines set back. Done by equation. Hooah. Done. What a powerful day. Good job, guys. We all did it. It's amazing how we travel the position line center. Just showing you how powerful it is to travel through all level conditions. But everything we just finished doing is amazing. Blue star light center line condition interference location I division line centers. Open up all track line centers to new binary reset line centers. All position location and timelines are back where they are at their vision locations. So we have a new plasma light interference location in Bermuda Triangle. Set and course line center to all positions. Portal line center interference location is open up to all of position line connections to Asgard. Thumbs up. All right, so we did it. So the zip position, people. Now it's got in plasma line center. Biofrost bridge is all set up to portal line center and purification Asgard. We're all good. All right, so that was a lot of fun. It's amazing what we just finished doing. So let's go back, try to understand interference location information in this panel. How you guys calculate and modify all levels, position location, your calculation line conditions. All right, so where are we at through track system? All right, seeing the family, the tree regularly growing the timeline, seeing vortex and mix it together. Yep, I confirmed. High level system, small crystal skull, scrambler with the code. Up but seeing 12 other crystal skulls lifting out water around the globe. Oh, fantastic. I'm just speed crossing these signals right now. 9,000 borders around the Bermuda Triangle. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Gypsy. Purple water wave and setting up, almost at the top. Let's see. Okay, communications, funnel entry, striders, had something inside. Okay, connections, unmarkable, illuminated, spinning, nice and flow. Good, fantastic. It is amazing, isn't it? How everything's set up. The reason I have to do it so fast is because I'm traveling through so many realms of information. So it's important you understand that. And making sure you drink your water through its calculation. All right. So integrate line center interference location of crew units in position location squad 1 and 2. Bring them back in calculation line centers back in their rotation. Done. You're back. Modification line stream interference of rebellion in calculations where they are division line interference. Offline center indications to all levels Asgard to all conditions of Biofrost Bridge. Bring it back communications all levels. Rebellion GFL line center locations all levels. 2 calculations to Ascended Masters. Now you're back. Communication. All right, so it's amazing what we just finished doing today. All right, now day 2 is coming up. Position line center. We set the high line and electrical light inner wall line position locations all levels Bermuda Triangle. Setting course line center is 144,000 round position locations in the crop circles underwater city system. So there's a lot of things are happening through track center. Question in the comments I will take on TikTok. Everybody have an amazing day. Adios.